Hi, and welcome to another edition of Forbes 2 on 2. I'm Aaron Perlut, and Jason Falls is not with me today, but Danielle Smith, who is a good friend of mine and happens to be an extraordinary mommy, is joining us to talk about her new book. Welcome, Danielle.
Thank you for having me, Aaron.
So, you have a new book out with your co-author, Aliza Sherman, called Mom Incorporated. How did this project come about?
It's actually an interesting story because it falls into the category of how does that really happen? Aliza is a longtime author. This is actually her ninth book. And she was approached about writing a book about moms and women entrepreneurs starting businesses and raising a family at the same time. And she had just finished her eighth book and was sort of at the end of her rope, at the end of her mental bandwidth, and thought, I'd like to do a book with a co-author, which she'd never done before. So she approached the publisher and said, may I have a co-author? And this is who I'm thinking of. And she actually gave them all the information on me because and it's actually really neat for me when she tells the story why she chose me, but she wanted someone who was different from her, who had a different story. She's very straightforward. She's very business oriented, and I am not. I tend to have a softer side, a more storytelling. I tend to be more long-winded. She's very straightforward, going to tell you exactly how it is, and I'm going to tell you all the way around it and tell you all the niceties that go along with it. So she ended up sending me an email that sounded something like, do you have a book deal, and if you don't, would you like one? And I read it, and that's exactly how it sounded in my head, and I thought, does she mean me? Did she mean a different Danielle? Because it really is something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to write a book, and writing a book about moms and business and finding a way to do both, start a business and raise a family, is something that I do every single day. So it was right in my wheelhouse, and I instantly emailed her back and said yes, and then refreshed my email 27 times until I heard back from her, and we started along the process.
Why can't I get anyone to send me an email like that about a mustache book? I'm just not sure, but
I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. More importantly, tell us about Mom Incorporated. What's the crux of it? What are people who buy the book going to get out of it?
Well, I'll show you the book too because I think it's a very pretty book. Our publisher, Sellers Publishing, they're out of Maine, and they're actually a gift book publisher, which is one of the reasons the book is so pretty. And the book is intended to be a holistic and realistic guide for moms who want to start a business and continue to raise their family, because Aliza and I believe very firmly that there isn't a balance, and people need to stop striving for the idea of balance. It's like this bar that we're constantly holding over our heads that someone is moving just out of reach every time we reach for it, because we wanted this book to be where to begin. So many women start businesses because they feel like there's something more for them. They're at home with their kids and they think there's something more I should be doing, but they don't know where to start or what their specific talent base should lead them into. So we said, this is the beginning. This is how you actually channel your talents and start a business. But within the book, you're also going to find the information that gives you all of the nuts and bolts, all the stuff that typically makes your eyes glaze over. We wanted this to be a come sit down on a couch with us and we will walk you through this process and make it as easy for you as possible, because we know there's so much information that seems so challenging, whether it's the accounting or the business licensing. And we also, one of the things that was incredibly important to us was to put so many different women and so many different voices throughout the book, because Aliza and I recognized that just my story and just her story weren't enough to give women the motivation to believe that this was something they could do, because there are so many different ways to make it happen, to have a family and to start a business at the same time.
Very cool. So tell us where we can buy the book.
You can buy the book just about anywhere at this point, which is really neat. It's actually just in bookstores as of this past week. So Barnes & Noble is carrying it. Lots of independent bookstores are carrying it. And of course, you can get it on Amazon. And within just the next couple of week or two, fingers crossed, it will also be available on Kindle and iPad. Aliza and I have the trial version, so we know that it is there, but we're waiting for our publisher to release it officially.
Well, congratulations. Very exciting.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining me. This has been another edition of Forbes 2 on 2. For Danielle Smith, I'm Aaron Perlut. Thank you very much.
Thank you.